From Studio 16 in the heart of Santa Monica, this is Santa Monica Weekly with your hosts, Chris Baelish and Veronica Castro. On this week's show,
I'm Nico Payne at this year's Wellbeing Buy Local Festival. Stick around to see what's happening at this year's celebration.
Coming up, Jordan Wilimovsky, who qualified for the 2016 Olympic Games, tries his very best to teach me how to surf. So stay tuned.
And as the trains are getting ready to roll through Santa Monica, we spoke to city officials about your safety and the tracks. We'll tell you what they had to say coming up on Santa Monica Weekly.
Hi everyone, this is Santa Monica Weekly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Baelish.
And I'm Veronica Castro. We begin with an important topic in Santa Monica, sustainability.
Reporter Nico Payne takes us to an event called the Wellbeing Buy Local Fest that's part of Sustainable September.
There was plenty to do at this year's Wellbeing Festival, from dancing to cooking and even earthquake safety. I talked to people to see what brought them out.
My brother's running in the race tomorrow, doing the 10K, so we're out here to support him.
Are you looking for anything specific out here in these booths?
Well, I mean, I like a lot of the vendors. We're helping him get some gear for tomorrow, so hopefully we'll find something for him to wear. But we really like all of the samples and freebies too, to find out what's going on in the community.
Some came out to look for sports gear and freebies. Others came just to have some fun. Can you tell us what brought you out here today?
Well, I came to pick up my registration packet, and I came last year, and I know they had a lot of activities around, so today I was able to partake in the dancing over there on the floor. So I do that, and I look for nice, tasty drinks and so forth. So got a few freebies, too, to go to exercise classes in the surrounding area. So
Why we're here today, to carry the message of what makes a strong community. What is well-being? And well-being is how we support each other, not just one-on-one, but in many different ways. How we go out, how we shop, how we support our businesses, how we think about being healthy, and how we treat each other. How do we talk to each other?
One of this year's big attractions at the festival is the Shaky Quakey earthquake simulation.
Kids and adults were able to get a safety lesson on earthquakes and put it to the test. People also had plenty of options to get active and exercise.
You're gonna try this next, right? This little machine right here?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the rowing machine. See if I can beat 15.9 seconds.
And is this gonna help you for tomorrow's marathon? A little warm up, or what would you call it?
I don't know, just bragging rights.
Are you gonna try it?
Probably not. I just had breakfast. But I think he can beat the best one on the board.
Well, Jacob was not able to break the record, but it was worth a shot.
Well, if you weren't able to make it to the festival this year, there's always next. Reporting from the Civic Center for Santa Monica Weekly, I'm Nico Payne.
There are plenty more events and activities happening in Santa Monica as part of Sustainable September. Check out sustainablesm.org for details.
So Veronica, have you ever been to the Olympics?
No, but I've always wanted to.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We might just get our chance. Yay. A big press event was held recently on Santa Monica Beach that made an Olympic-sized announcement. Photojournalist Kendall Tice was there.
This is a great day for Los Angeles and a great day for the Olympic movement. I'm proud to partner today with the United States Olympic Committee in a bid to bring the Olympics back to the United States for the Summer Games for the first time in 28 years. And this is a quest that Los Angeles was made for. If the Olympic movement decided to build a brand new city that was founded on its ideals of pluralism, of competition and harmony, they would have to build Los Angeles. But fortunately, we're already here.
I was with ABC Sports in the 70s and 80s. I covered the Olympics in Los Angeles in 1984. And for those of you who were here at that time, it was amazing to be in Los Angeles and to have grown up here, and you're driving around and there is zero traffic and the air is fantastic and everybody just was ebullient. And so to me, when people talk about the Olympics and all of the terrible stuff that's supposed to happen, blah, 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 and every Olympic starts that way, and the next thing you know, you get it going, and it makes for a lifetime memory. And
it's a real honor for me today to stand here and give a voice to the athletes. I'm here to give a voice to all the American Olympians and Paralympians who would love to bring the Olympic Games back to our great country. If we are going to win these games, and I like to win, we need to have every American behind us in this bid.
I believe LA has a tremendous shot at winning because we have such a diverse city. It's a melting pot, and the fact that we're a city that is already prepared to host the world. I mean, it would be tremendous and incredible if the city that I grew up in, Los Angeles, can be the host in 2024.
The entire city, just really came together, and it really was a magical time to be in LA, and I think that's going to hold true in 2024.
And I get to these Olympic Games, and they were such an incredible event and so moving, and it spoke to me, the LA 84 Olympics. So for me, throughout my entire Olympic career, I've always credited the legacy of the 84 Games for being a big part of who I became as an athlete and the courage it gave me to become an Olympian, to be physically at an Olympic Games, to watch the planning, to watch the people come together. I mean, that's the greatest part about the Olympics. It's about the athletes, but it's also about all of the people that come together to give these athletes incredible opportunities.
Los Angeles previously hosted the Games in 1984 and 1932. Looking ahead, the 2016 Games will be held in Rio de Janeiro, and the 2020 Games are set for Tokyo.
And a superstar local athlete is training hard to make the Olympic swim team for the Rio Games next summer. Santa Monica Weekly reporter Ashna Patel has the story.
I'm Ashna Patel for Santa Monica Weekly, where we're about to see a more personal side of Jordan Wilimowski, who qualified for the 2016 Olympic Games. Jordan won the 10K open water swim at the 2015 FINA World Championships, making him the first to qualify for the Olympics in swimming, not only in the U.S., but also the world.
In 2011, my coach Dave Kelsheimer suggested I try out open water just because I was a distance swimmer, so I thought I might be able to do that. And I went down to Open Water Nationals in 2011 and tried out for the 10K there.
Jordan completed the course in 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 48.2 seconds, finishing about 12 seconds ahead of the second-place winner.
During the race, I just try to stay relaxed, stay within myself, and then the next 5K kind of build and get a little faster and hopefully have enough saved up for the last 1,000 sprint. So I was kind of looking behind me, and I wasn't really sure where everyone else was, but when I touched, I came up on the scoreboard that I won, so I was pretty stoked. And then I looked up in the crowd, and all the USA guys were up there cheering for me, so it was awesome. And then after that, I turned around and I saw Sean Ryan, my American teammate, finished right behind me, and we both got in top 10, so that was really, really cool. Balancing school and training is pretty tough, especially at Northwestern, but it's just about making the right decisions and good time management, and that's part of the reason I decided to take the 2015-2016 school year off to redshirt. So I'll be back home here in Santa Monica training with Dave Kelsheimer at Team Santa Monica, and that way I can just focus solely on swimming and not at school as well. My mom and dad are, letting me live with them this year, and they're super supportive of me. They always have been, and I mean, they're the ones that drove me to swim practice every morning when I was younger, and I mean, my friends couldn't be more stoked for me. I think as soon as I won, they're already looking at, wait or book a hotel in Rio and like who's going to come out there. So they're all really, really excited for me, which is awesome.
I met Jordan when he moved to TSM about 5 years ago, I think. It's definitely fun to train with Jordan because he's already qualified and I'm trying to qualify too next year. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
Just during my free time, I like to nap, hang out with friends. Sometimes I go play golf, and I really like to go down to the beach and surf when the waves are good.
Jordan gave me a few surfing tips on the beach. I was pretty nervous about my first surfing experience, but very lucky to have Jordan Wilimowski and Brendan Casey help me conquer the waves. We wish Jordan and everyone else at Team USA all the best with their training for the 2016 Olympic Games. I'm Ashna Patel for Santa Monica Weekly.
We wish Jordan the best of luck, and we look forward to cheering him on in Rio. Very exciting.
And as we reported, the Expo Line train is currently being tested on local tracks.
So we sent Santa Monica Weekly reporter Jordan Jaskew to take a closer look at the all-important topic of train safety.
While the Metro train will ease the stress of travel within Santa Monica, concern still remains for those who use the sidewalks throughout the city. We spoke to an official about the importance of taking caution at a train stop such as this. Tom Jasmine is a manager for the railway system in Santa Monica. And as the city trains are being prepped to hit the rails, officials along with Jasmine want to encourage that everyone is not only alert, but are following the laws of the road.
To make sure that they obey the signals and the signs so that they don't take and turn in front of a train that they're not aware of, because I haven't seen one in this city for 60 plus years.
And the concern keeps rising as people cross into railroad territory.
We have seen people using our right-of-way, which is where the tracks are, to walk, jog, walk their dogs, push baby buggies, and also to ride bicycles. And they tell us, well, we're doing it because we know we're not going to get hit by any cars. We absolutely don't want any accidents. Absolutely don't. The city doesn't want it. We don't want it. The poor train operators don't want it. Our trains are electric and they're quiet. You will not hear them coming unless it's coming at you and you're visibly looking for the train. You won't hear it coming up from behind you.
There is an issue impacting everyone on the road involving the countdown at the crosswalks. So given the time on a crosswalk signal, why is it important for people to be aware of that when walking?
The pedestrian signals have timers on it, and the timers are to indicate when the red light for the direction that they're traveling is going to come up. A lot of people, depending on their age or their physical condition, are going slower than they used to and maybe can't make it like they used to and wind up having to stop out in the middle of the intersection.
Although trains aren't fully running, Jasmine says now is the time to practice safe traveling. So whether it's walking, biking, or even driving, remember to always take caution when approaching a crossing at the train tracks. Reporting for Santa Monica Weekly, I'm Jordan Jaskew.
The Expo line in Santa Monica is scheduled to open to the public next year.
Now let's talk about some upcoming events and happenings around town. As we mentioned a little earlier, this month is Sustainable September, and there's a bunch of cool events, including Buy Local, Give Local Week, which runs now through September 20th. This is an opportunity to shop, eat, and play locally in support of our community and local businesses. There's going to be a number of ways to give back, including donating canned goods to the Westside Food Bank. For a list of participating local shops and businesses, and for general information, visit buylocalsantamonica.com and check out sustainablesm.org for more info on future sustainable events in September.
And here's another way to give back: the annual Coastal Cleanup event organized by Heal the Bay. On Saturday, September 19th, thousands of volunteers from all over Southern California will collect tons of trash from their local beaches, rivers, creeks, and parks. And that's just here in SoCal. Coastal Cleanup Day is actually a global event. Last year, it drew more than 600,000 participants worldwide. So if you've ever enjoyed a day at the beach or a hike in the mountains, it's time to pitch in and help out. There are more than 50 cleanup sites from Malibu to Pasadena, so it's easy to participate even if you don't live near the beach. Check out healthebay.org.
And here's another way to look out for the environment: drive an electric car or a fuel cell car, or what about a solar car?
Yeah.
And we'll be able to see all of the above at the 10th annual Alt Car Expo. It happens right here in Santa Monica on September 18th and 19th. The location is the Civic Center lot and East Wing. In addition to lots of cool, cutting-edge concept cars, there'll also be speakers, panels, and even opportunities for test drives. For all of the details, visit altcarexpo.com.
And back to school time means thousands of high school students are starting to stress about college. Well, the Santa Monica Public Library can help. They're offering a number of college prep courses and resources throughout the month of September. Events like an SAT practice test on September 19th are being held at the main library, as well as other events around the satellite branches. All programs are free and open to the public. For details and information, visit smpl.org. Register in advance by visiting the main library or calling 310-458-8621.
And it's time for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to show you the 7 must-haves for emergency preparedness.
And don't forget, a great way to stay informed about everything that's happening in our city is to follow us on Twitter, #Santa Monica Weekly. We'll be right back.
It's a wireless world out there, so be sure to stay connected with Santa Monica. Follow us on Twitter for the latest announcements. Receive instant updates on activities citywide. Like us on Facebook and join in on the conversation. Stay connected with your city. And don't miss a tweet.
Welcome back to Santa Monica Weekly. Our first guest today is going to talk about the importance of the city's landmark I've Got 7 campaign.
Please welcome the City of Santa Monica's Emergency Services Administrator, Paul Weinberg. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for being here. So tell us what the I've Got 7 campaign is all about.
So the I've Got 7 campaign is a program the city started many years ago to encourage our residents, those who live, work, and play in Santa Monica, to get prepared for emergencies. We recommend having 7 days of emergency supplies. We realize that in the event of a true major disaster, we're going to be on our own, both as individuals, as city, as businesses, and it's in our best interest to be prepared.
What was the driving force in creating this campaign?
Well, it's interesting. We had started this campaign probably in 2002, and it was mainly for city employees. We wanted the city employees to have preparedness supplies to be able to help the community in the event of an emergency. And then after Hurricane Katrina struck, we realized we needed to roll that program out to the community at large, to get the schools involved, to get the residents, the special interest groups, the businesses, the service providers. And it was a very successful campaign. Everybody really got involved and found ways to make it fit their own program.
That's great. Now, have other cities replicated this program?
They have, and that's been a lot of fun watching that, especially after Hurricane Katrina. We did a lot of response and recovery work in the Gulf Coast, and some of that was explaining to different communities it's important to get prepared as a city.
I love the name because it's I've Got 7. You're like, well, what does that mean exactly? So break it down for us. What are the 7?
Sure. So the 7, it's kind of got 2 meanings. The first is we want everyone to have 7 days emergency supplies. We realize if we ask people to have 7, they're probably going to have 4 or 5, and that's better than asking for 3 and getting 1 or 2.
Right.
The second is we've got 7 steps that we ask people to take, including having food and water. That's number 1. And if there's one emergency supply, I recommend it's water. I mean, not just because we're in a drought, but as humans, we need water. Our pets need water. We can go a little bit longer without food than we can without water. We need water. A preparedness kit is our second step. We want people to have a kit both at home, at work, in their car, and putting that kit together is interesting in Santa Monica. What we want people to do is have 3 or 4 days in your car and then another 4 days at home. That way you'll always have something. We really want to get away from the model of buying 5 or 7 days worth of supplies, putting them in a closet somewhere and waiting for a disaster. We just want you to know that, hey, I've got 5 or 7 days of food at home. It may be canned soup, it may be cereal that we cycle through, but we're always replacing it, and that keeps it fresh. Getting trained is another important step. Taking our community emergency response team training is a good one. We recommend you have cash. In the event of an emergency, banks are not going to be open, the ATMs are not going to be open. It's good to have some cash just to use in those first couple of days. Having special shoes or strong shoes and clothing and blankets is helpful. Any special needs things you may have, so medication or pet supplies or diapers, whatever fits your household special needs, we recommend having a few days worth to get you through. And then most importantly, contact information and a family plan. How am I going to get in touch with my family following a disaster? Am I going to drive to Los Angeles to meet my wife? Am I going to pick up the kids? What is our plan if something were to happen during a day when we're not together?
I have a lot to do. I'm excited to make sure that I'm ready. So what are some common mistakes that people make when it comes to emergency preparedness? Like if I have a 24-pack of water at home, am I good?
Sure, probably not. Well, it depends how big the packs of water are, but we'd say you want to have a gallon of water per day per person in your household. Now we recognize that's a lot. We recognize for a family of 4, we're asking for a lot of storage space. Common mistakes are underestimating how much water we need, forgetting about our pets, and a significant common mistake is we put together an earthquake kit and then we don't look at it for 2 or 3 years. So I have 6-year-old children right now. I put together an earthquake kit when they were born, and it's filled with diapers and with baby formula. If I brought that to them now, they would be pretty upset. So keeping all of that information fresh, medications, making sure that if you have special medications that they're not expiring, and just taking the time once a year to go back, look at your supplies, see what needs to be cycled in and out, and see how your family or your friends have grown and what do you need to match that.
So how long do emergency supplies last?
Water generally lasts about 5 years without any type of treatment. It's not going to harm you after that. It's just going to probably start to taste like whatever it's kept in, the plastic. There are some waters that cost a little bit more that last much longer, but again, what we like to do is not go that 5 years without checking it. I'll buy a case of water, I'll go to a barbecue, I'll grab the case of water from my garage, and next time I'm at the store, I'll buy another case. So I'm always cycling in and out so it won't expire. Food, you can buy meals ready to eat, the MREs they're called. They last about 5 years, the shelf life. But again, if we can get into the practice of knowing that I have at home 7 days of food and water, it's and just cycling it in and out. It's a little bit easier and it's a little bit more economical.
And Twinkies.
And Twinkies.
They last 20 years.
So once we have all of our supplies, where do you recommend that we store them?
I'd say all of that is really up to the individual. What makes sense to you? If you've got storage space in your apartment, put some there in your house, in your garage. Again, what we'd like to do is if we can put 3 or 4 days of supplies in your car, if you have a car, and then another 4 days at home, somewhere that you can access it is really what we recommend. Again, it may be in a garage, it may be a closet, it may be in 2 emergency kits right by your door. If the event of having to act quickly, you can grab it and go.
So how does the I've Got 7 pledge work?
So what we've done in the past, our main partner in this had been the Santa Monica Malibu Unified School District, and it was great, number one, because they have 7th grade, so the number 7 worked for us. And what we've done in the past, and we'll do again this fall, is we create a pledge form. This will be the first time that we've gone electronic, using social media and everything else, but we ask people to go, and the students specifically, to go home, see that they've got food, water, an emergency plan, and then they pledge they've done it. In the past, we've had a friendly competition between either grades, schools, or local businesses to encourage participation. And the city incentivizes the program. So we randomly select different people who enter to win gift cards or movie passes, things like that. And it's been really fascinating to see businesses get involved in that. So some of the businesses we've worked with have done preferential parking, or maybe a half day off for the people the division that finishes. It's really customizable. What we want is just to know that people are taking the step to get prepared.
And very quickly, a lot of viewers out there are watching. They're like, oh yeah, I really need to do this. Where can they get more info?
Sure. The best place to start is with the City of Santa Monica's Office of Emergency Management website. We have all of our information, both how to get prepared and to take the next step, not just being prepared as an individual. Sign up for the CERT program, Community Emergency Response Team. We've trained about 300 people in the last 2.5 years, and these are the first responders. We understand in Santa Monica, we're surrounded by Los Angeles, and we're going to need all the help we can get.
Paul, thank you so much for sharing some great information with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a community workshop that aims to help local homeless veterans.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, where we post about all the fun and important information happening in our city. # Santa Monica Weekly. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Santa Monica Weekly. Homelessness continues to be an important issue in our city, and one topic that residents will get to weigh in on soon is housing for our homeless veterans.
Joining us now is Dr. Jonathan Sharon, a national expert on veteran mental health. Welcome to Studio 16.
Thanks for having me.
So, Doctor, how many homeless veterans are in our area, and what's currently being done for them?
Well, in our county, Los Angeles County, there are roughly 4,500 homeless veterans according to the most recent point in time count. In terms of the west side, closer to Santa Monica, ranging from Malibu down to the marina and eastward to the medical center, there are estimates that roughly 800 homeless veterans are currently challenged with this problem.
Now tell us about the upcoming workshop that's happening.
Yes, next Monday, the 21st, in the evening at the Santa Monica Civic Center, we're going to be hosting with the VA a workshop to bring veterans from all eras with all different types of challenges together to talk about their campus. So the West Los Angeles VA campus, which you may or may not know, is a very large piece of valuable property that was given to the veterans in 1888 as a home.
Wow.
That property is in need of a significant upgrade. It has been neglected for some time. So what we really want to do is we want veterans to come together and help guide the process of rebuilding their home, restoring their home as a place for veterans to live, and also as veterans who don't live on the property to come to an oasis of resource to help them. And many of them will would not fall through the cracks and become homeless or have other bad outcomes because that resource would be available to them.
What's the current status of that Veterans Campus in West LA?
The campus has a lot of stuff on it now. It has a massive medical operation that is probably the largest actual medical center in the country, or certainly one of them. It also has a set of housing opportunities, but those tend to be more therapeutic, transitional, temporary emergency type housing opportunities. And really, because of many factors here in Los Angeles, there's a compelling reason to have housing on the campus, and particularly for the more vulnerable veteran populations who really tend to deteriorate when they're not around an enriched environment with resources including healthcare, stable housing, and a bevy of human service opportunities.
Now, what are some proposals for the future?
Well, there are a number of proposals currently on the table. There's a plan for Secretary Bob McDonald to be handed a plan for the campus in the middle of October, which is going to be which is roughly a month away. What is critical here is that we leverage this opportunity that's before us on the heels of a lawsuit against the VA to create a national model. We at Vets Advocacy Incorporated like to think of it as VA the right way. And we actually have a website, and that website is being used by veterans and other concerned and interested stakeholders to provide input as to what might go on that campus. But across the board, it's felt very strongly in the community that that property ought to be leveraged for housing, for outstanding health care, and for a variety of resources. For example, could there be a pool on that property? Could there be a track? Could there be a fitness facility? Right. But the idea is to create a vibrant community for those who live on the campus, and a resource that veterans from around the community want to come to, that they're proud of, and that will be helpful to them when they go.
You mentioned an upcoming workshop. Tell us more about that and what the format will be.
We want this to be essentially veteran-driven entirely. So we look to get veterans together, again, from all eras, with all types of challenges, many including veterans who may not be challenged and are frankly leaders in our community, to talk about the tough issues. So tough issues include, is this entirely a veteran campus, or are civilians going to be allowed on that campus, right? What's that intersection? What's the interface between the veteran campus, where veterans will be living and veterans will be getting services, and the outside community? Because ultimately we want to bridge that gap, right? We want to foster reintegration, which is really a fundamental challenge. We also want to bring experts to participate as audience members and listen to what veterans have to say about their property. So we'll have a short period of time where the big topics like the interface with the community, which populations of veterans ought to have priority to live on the campus, whether prior leases that are controversial, what do the veterans think about that? What do they want? And how are we as a community responding to that to give them what they've earned and what they deserve?
And you mentioned community. How can people get more information about all that's happening?
Well, the city of Santa Monica is a real leader in this space in terms of public planning, in terms of being expert in the homeless arena, frankly. I mean, some of the most important work, not just locally, but even nationally, comes out of Santa Monica. So we see this as a platform beyond Santa Monica, one where we can get the message out more broadly, because it's that kind of a platform. We have experts in Santa Monica that we want to help us guiding that process.
Dr. Sheeran, thank you so much. That is our show for this week. We'll be back with another edition of Santa Monica Weekly next week.